So this time I'm going to show you how to make one of these with a couple of these. Alright, so material wise this project is extremely simple. Now the first or the main part that I'm using is basically a 19mm dowel stick. Now you can use a bit thicker as well, whatever you can find. Now the length of this one is 1.8 meters because that's the height of this tree that I want. Now in order to make the little side branches, I've basically used a 10mm dowel stick. Now you get these in various lengths. You can use a slightly thinner one like 8mm if you want to, but I found the 10mm works pretty well. So then what I did in order to mark the places for those upright branches, I'm making little marks on this dowel stick like so, making a mark with a pencil and then turning a slight bit, making another mark about 4 inches or 10 centimeters up, and then making another mark when I turn it again, and so forth, turning it randomly, making random marks for where I'm going to put in all those little side dowel pieces. Now, the reason I'm doing it random like this is to give it a bit more of a natural feel, so it doesn't look completely symmetrical in all directions. Now, the other part of this thing is that if I want to put in these branches or side dowels, I'm going to want to put them in at a slight angle like this. And I want all these angles to be consistently. So how am I going to do that? Well, what I've done is I have taken, let me show you, it's a normal block like this, blocks of wood. This is a piece of a pallet, the part that comes between the top and bottom pieces of wood. I've drilled a big hole the size of the dowel stick through it. And then on the one end here, I have drilled a angled hole, which is about just less than 30 degrees, probably about 25 degrees. And if you put in the drill bit into that hole, this is a 10mm drill bit, so it's obviously the size of the dowel sticks, you'll see the angle that I'm going to use. Now, this is going to be consistent if I drill the holes into all of them. What you can also see on the drill bit is I have made a little mark on the drill with a white marker. In other words, if I drill this into the wood up to the white mark like so, if you can see it from the top, you'll see that on the bottom end, the drill bit would not go through the main shaft and it would not come out the other end. So it would be consistent like that. So in other words, this dowel stick would go in here and then I would consistently drill those holes at an angle and up to a certain depth on all of these holes or the marks that I've made. So I can simply move it. You can see the hole up there and up until where you can see one of the marks that you've made, like with a pencil, you can put the mark in the middle of the hole, drill your hole, and move along up to the next one. And so that's a simple method of making all the holes at the same angle. The next thing I did is I made these little dowel sticks. I made them in various lengths of the tree, or not of the tree, but starting from the bottom of the tree going upwards. I started with the longest one at the bottom being 1/2 meter or about 1.5 feet length, and then for each level, I made about 3 or 4 of the same length, and then I shortened them about 4 inches or 10 centimeters for the next 3 or the next 4 all the way to the top. So it's obviously got a cylindrical shape upwards in the shape of a tree. The next thing that I want to do, or I'm going to do, is I'm going to make a foot piece. So what I've done, I've used 2 of these pieces. It's a square piece of wood. It's about 2 by 2 inches or about 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters. I'm going to use 2 of these, and then how I'm going to fit them into each other is a fairly simple method. Once again, I'm going to, in the middle, cut a piece away, and on the side, the piece would be up into the middle of the piece of wood like so, and this would be cut out or deleted. I'm going to do this with both pieces of wood, and they would then obviously fit into each other, the other piece like this, and they would be level. It would be a cross-shaped foot piece. I'm simply going to drill a hole in the middle the size of the thick dowel stick, and that would be the foot piece. Fairly simple. The other piece that I'm going to make is I'm going to make a little 6-pointed star for the top of the Christmas tree out of a normal piece of plywood. Very simple, and all you need for that is like a simple compass and a pencil, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So let us get fabricating. Right, so as you can see, this is what the foot piece came out like. This is the two pieces intercrossed like so, like I showed you beforehand, with a hole drilled in the middle for the upright down. So let's assemble this tree and see how it looks. I'm going to have to go over there. So I'm putting the foot piece down on the floor, taking the long dowel sticks with all the holes drilled in it, putting that into the hole at the bottom, like so. And then simply, I've got all the dowel sticks cut into various pieces. Now the nice thing is it's not attached to the tree permanently, so you can take this out every year and store this tree conveniently out of your way. So let's start at the bottom, inserting all of these dowel sticks. Obviously going around the tree in all directions, putting in the longer ones first at the bottom, and then obviously going upwards with the shorter ones until we reach the top. So let me fast forward this a bit. All right, so there you go. So simply I've just felt around the edges or around the center dowel until I felt the hole, put the next one in. So let me turn this around slightly, say, or slowly, so that you can see the effect of these dowel sticks. So I reckon it looks pretty nice. It's got a bit of a more natural feel of a tree going in all directions. Now obviously this needs to be decorated, so you can't just leave it like this, although you can if you like the effect. And then for the top, we've got the little star with a little dowel stick in the bottom, and a hole on top of this one where I can put that on top, like so. So with a little star on top, that's basically what it looks like, and it looks very nice. So I'm going to decorate this now, and I'll show you a picture of the decorated tree right on my side over here. And that is basically what it looks like with some decorations and so on. This is a very simple idea. So when it comes to breaking down and storing this again, I'm simply going to take out the stars, take out all these little dowel sticks, which is quite simple since they're not permanently attached, but they do fit fairly secure into the little holes that we've drilled, like so. Take it all out. I'm going to basically take these dowels together, like so, on the table. Take basically a rubber band like this, tie them together, like so, so that they would stay together, and then simply tie all of these to the big dowel again like this. And there, if I step on the bottom side, take it out, this is basically what you've got to store until next Christmas when you put this up again. Very nice and compact, easy to put away apart from your decorations obviously, and it does not get simpler than this. A very simple, easy Christmas tree to make that you can put up and take down every year with very little effort, and it is extremely simple. So until next time, thank you very much, guys.